Already shaking.
Calm down. Nothing doing very expensive.
Okay.
Make sure you get like a different angle for the house and for the slides,
Right.
dancing and all that stuff.
I gotta move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that.
I'm already tired.
Okay. 목사님 기도할게요. Let's pray. Close our eyes. 예수님 감사합니다. 오늘도 VBS로 허락해 주셔서 우리 어린이들을 또 하나님 말씀 잘 배우게 하시고 예수님이 저들의 삶의 리더자가 되시고 은혜를 더해 주세요. 그리고 성령 하나님께서 함께 계시고 특별히 이 세대를 통해서 예수님께서 주신 말씀 잘 전파하게 하시고 시작하는 시간과 마치는 시간까지 저들의 안전을 지키시고 은혜를 더해 주세요. 성령 하나님께서 함께 계시기 바라고 예수님의 이름으로 기도드립니다. 아멘.
Stand up, dudes.
Everyone's like stretching like stretching like old men.
Here's our verses for today.
Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. O worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth. Let the heavens rejoice and let the earth be glad. Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof. Let the field be joyful and all that is therein. Then shall all the trees of the wood rejoice before the Lord. For he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness, and the people with his truth.
Everybody say that. God is
Ruler.
Okay, here we go. watching The Lion King. What? Early this morning you're watching The Lion King? Was it good? Yeah, in fact, it sounds like my friend. You know, we're going to be talking about a king who isn't like any other king. And this king is perfect, and he's good, and he rules the whole universe, honey, and he is alive forever. You mean God? Yeah, he's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. We were just singing about him. It's fun to sing God. It sure is. Singing praises to God is a great way to show how great and wonderful and loving and giving God is. I'm going to sing a song every day. Oh, this one. Amen, amen. Now, so that's for amen. What? Singing is a silly song. Well, that's a fun song, but it doesn't have anything to do with God, sonny. You may want to try to sing songs about God to God. And besides singing, another way to show how much we honor and worship Him is to praise Him as we pray to Him. What does praise mean? Anybody know what praise means? It is telling God how amazing He is. And we can do that when we pray to Him, right? When we pray to God. Oh, Sonny, we just talk to Him. We can't see Him, but He's listening. Awesome. God, I think you're an amazing ruler and king. Did you hear that? He sure did. And you don't have to shout to Him and do, boys and girls. No. You can just talk in your normal voice and He'll hear you. And you can even think praises to God. He knows what you're thinking, sonny. And you know what else we should do when we find out how great God is? Do the chicken heads? I love the chicken heads. I'm not talking about doing the chicken dance. Instead, we should want to tell others about God and how wonderful He is. Oh, right. God is the incredible ruler of the universe. That's right. Let's get our animal poster and find out what animal we're going to do today, Sonny. How about that? Okay. Are you excited to find out? Of course. Who our animal might be? Boys and girls, are you excited to find out who our animal is today? Look at this. Oh, I think it's awesome. Yeah, really awesome. Okay, everybody, here it is. Look, it's a big white shark. Fly shark! Woo! We want sharks. Baby shark. Oh, no. We don't have to sing that song, right, Sonny? We don't want to sing it. He's nicknamed the ruler of the sea, and that's pretty cool, but he's nothing compared to being the ruler of everything. God made everything, and He's in charge of it all. Can you think of something God has made that you think is fabulous, Sonny? Yeah, I know what. Earwax. You know, like gooey gills that listen in your ears? I think that's fabulous. Sonny, be serious. I am being serious. You know, earwax protects your ears from getting bacteria and water in them. It's really smart to make that. I think it's wonderful. Well, I guess you have a point there. Earwax is wonderful. And how about our eyelashes? They help protect our eyes from getting things like sand or dust in them. Okay. I think we hear what you're saying. God made all of this and so much more. And we can talk to other people about our amazing God and never run out of great things to say about Him, can we, Sonny? Yeah, that's for sure. I'm going to go tell my mom how amazing earwax is. Okay, Sonny, go
is full of his glory.
Isaiah 6:3. Wow, the whole earth is what? The whole earth is what? Full of his
Glory.
glory. How many times did it say holy in here?
3.
times. 3 times. Holy, holy, holy. Holy is the Lord of hosts. Okay, ready for our children's fun? Let's see who we're going to learn about today.
Hello there, kids. I'm just looking over the different treasures that I found all over the island this week. I have a lot of grandchildren, and I'm trying to find something for each of them. I found this little action figure buried in the sand on the beach. My grandson Andre loved playing with this. My granddaughter Olivia will love this bracelet once she polishes it up a bit. I feel bad for the person who left these behind, but my grandbaby Marco loves jangling keys around. This rock is my granddaughter Grace. She loves collecting rocks and painting them, so I'd like to bring her rocks from different places I visit. I still need something for my granddaughter Alice. I'm sure I'll find something. If I keep finding things my grandkids will like, my backpack is going to be pretty full by the end of this week. A backpack is pretty important to you when you're treasure hunting. Not only does it hold things I might need, like a water bottle or my map, but it's where I put things that I find, so I can keep them safe. Of course, this bag is only big enough to hold small treasures. Several years ago, in the country of Nepal, a huge hidden treasure was discovered, dating back to around 1500 AD. The government of Nepal was repairing a very old palace that was no longer being used. While they were fixing it, some workers discovered a secret room beneath the palace that was hiding 3 boxes of gold and silver treasure that weighed more than 600 pounds. I think that's a bit more than my backpack can handle. When I visited Nepal on my travels, I didn't find any gold, but I did meet a girl named Binsa. I want to share her story, but first, you know the drill. Eyes closed, all the way. I knew you'd peek. Okay, for real this time. Now the first thing I want you to imagine is the heat. Hotter than summertime at the beach. And you're wearing several layers of clothes to protect you from the sun. There's no breeze, and the air is full of smoke and dust. Got that picture in your mind? Good. Now open your eyes. This is a brickyard. Workers form bricks out of clay. And in the kiln is a big oven that's used to bake. It is very hot near the kiln. This is where Binsa lives. Binsa is 10, and she has been working here with her family for 2 years. Her parents came to Kathmandu Valley looking for work and hoping for a better life. Instead, they found themselves in an unsafe living situation and unable to pay for the small hut they were given to live in. Sometimes, Binsa feels weak from the hours of work in the hot sun, but she tries not to let it show. The supervisors who manage the brickyard are always watching and making sure everyone is working hard. And Binsa doesn't want to upset them because they decide how much money her family will make that day. Bence's job is to carry bricks to the trucks. She didn't always have to work, but as soon as she was big enough to carry bricks, she had no choice. A pastor learned about Benza and her family and brought them a food pack and told them about Jesus. Her family wasn't sure if they could trust the stranger at first, but each week he continued to visit and bring them food. Benza asked the pastor a lot of questions before she received Jesus as her Savior. She learned that God is ruler. He is in charge. He's loving and kind. Benza doesn't need a backpack to store her treasure because she's learned that Jesus is the greatest treasure. Benza has Jesus in her heart. The coins you're collecting this week can help spread hope to other kids like Benza. Remember, 1 quarter means 1 meal. And $12 fills a food pack that can feed a family like Benza's for a week. It's also a chance for a family in need to learn about God, who is holy and perfect. We're halfway through our treasure hunt, so keep searching for those coins, and I'll see you tomorrow. Andre, Elaine, Marco, Grace, I still don't have anything for Alice. I wonder how many coconuts I can fit in here.
Tomorrow, be sure and bring an offering, okay? Tomorrow is our last day, and we want to bring quarters, pennies, dimes. Oh, you brought one today. Okay, good. And someone else brought some? All right. Let's just put them in here for now. You can come up and put your coins in this. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Let's give a hand for these kids. They're helping feed others. Isn't that awesome? Thank you so much. And the rest, and you can bring more tomorrow. We'll be collecting coins and see how many meals. Whoa, look at that. Oh, we got a few meals in there. You know, it doesn't have to just be a quarter. It could be $1. It could be $5.
There's $5.
Oh, it could be $20. Bring it tomorrow if you want to give it. Okay, you can bring it tomorrow if you want to bring it. Okay? Thank you so much for helping other children. Can you imagine? She had to carry bricks like that. It almost reminds me of the slaves in Camden. Doesn't it remind you? Wow. Lord bless her. We want to help children like that to have food. Okay, so what is hidden in this picture? Anybody see it? An owl is hiding right there. And that is camouflage. It can hide, but can we hide from God? Nope, there's no place we can go, right? Are you ready for Knock Knock Joe?
Knock, knock.
All right. Knock knock. Lena. Lean a little closer to see the lizard. Okay, you ready for some island facts? All right, what is a small island called again? An islet. Oh, you guys are so smart. Have you ever heard of a desert island? That means it doesn't have any people living on it. It's deserted, not that it's a desert. Okay? So a desert island means just no one lives there. All right. There are more than 25,000 islands in the Pacific area. You want to go live on one or go
Yes,
to one?
I want to go on.
Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Do you like to chew gum? How many like to chew gum? I do. If you do, don't live on the island of Singapore. It's illegal to chew gum there. Did you know
What?
that? Yeah. According to the Guinness World Records, the tallest sandcastle ever made was in Germany in 2017. It was about as tall as 1.5 telephone poles. Whoa, can you imagine? How high is a telephone pole? Maybe as high as that top of that window? And the sandcastle was, what? Oh my goodness, you can't even hardly believe that. Okay, how about some pirate facts? Pirates were also called privateers or buccaneers. Privateers, if given permission by their countries to be pirates, and buccaneers if not. So if they were a privateer, they had permission. If they didn't have permission, they were called a buccaneer. All right, next one. Can you whistle?
Yeah.
Pirates wouldn't have you on their ship if you did because they thought whistling would cause a storm to blow up. Oh, so you can't be on your pirate ship. Bartholomew Roberts was the most successful pirate of all time. He captured around 400 ships in his lifetime. He was known for his boldness. He'd fight any ship he encountered, no matter how big it was. The crazy thing about Bartholomew Roberts was he loved to be well dressed. He'd wear fancy clothes even into a battle, including a hat with a red feather. He was a well-dressed pirate. I guess if you were talking about the ruler of the seas, you'd have to give it to Bartholomew Roberts. But he isn't really the ruler, right? There's only one true ruler of the seas and of the land and of the sky and of the whole universe, and that is God. He's the king over everything. He is the King of Kings. Okay, so where was our first stop on our map? Over here? Here?
Yes.
Chameleon Cove, and then where did we go? We went to the Octopus Inlet. Yeah? The first one we learned that God is great, and He's number one. He's the one and only. And then the next one we went to Octopus Inlet, and we learned that God is almighty. So far, we've learned that God is great and God is almighty. Remember our O words? Remember yesterday we learned 3 big O words? What does the O stand for? It stands for... Okay, let's stand up and do our actions. Help us remember. That's right. Wow, those are 3 big words you learned this week. So let me pull something out of the treasure chest and let's get another clue. Where are we going today on our map?
I have no idea.
Will anybody tell where the next stop is on this map? Where's the next stop? What is it called?
Great white gull.
Oh, the Great White Gull. Wow, I got a medallion over here. Let's you see the hidden crown? Can you see the hidden crown? At the great white boat? There it is, right there. There's a crown. Wow, our treasure map. Awesome. And what do you find hidden in this picture? You see a crown in that picture? Clark the shark may be king of the sea, but God is ruler over all. Yes, the crown, because Clark the shark is the ruler of the sea, but God is the ruler of the whole universe. Okay, so let's pray, and we're going to have our Bible lesson today. Today we're going to learn about a man named Isaiah. And Isaiah saw something really awesome. Okay, let's pray. Thank you, Father. Oh Lord, we pray God help us right now to focus in. Help us to have hearing ears and see eyes and learn more and more about you and how awesome you are. In Jesus' name, everybody said?
Amen.
So, we're going to be checking out an account written by a man named Isaiah in about 700 BC. That is in the Old Testament, boys and girls. Where's Miss Adria's Bible? I gotta get it. Here it is. What color is my Bible? Purple. So the Bible has two parts. It has the Old Testament and the what?
New Testament.
Okay, so today we're talking about Isaiah. He's in the Old Testament. All right. And he was about 700 BC. And God gave Isaiah a vision, which is kind of like a dream about a king. But actually, he was awake. And he saw a vision. Isaiah 6:1 says, in the year that King Uzziah died, and that was around 700 BC. What do you think the missing word is here? King Uzziah died. God is? God is what? Let's see what it is. Good. God is? Even though King Uzziah died, who's alive? God is alive, yeah. Okay, so who was king? Who was King Uzziah? He was a famous king of God's chosen people, and he had ruled the people well for 52 years. But the time came when he died. Everybody dies, right? Yeah. Do you know human kings all die, don't they? It doesn't matter how famous they are, they still die. So King Uzziah died, but what? God is alive. And there's good kings who rule well, and they die. And if they're really bad kings who are wicked, they die too. But God is king. Every human king's reign eventually ends. But God doesn't die. He's eternal, and he has no beginning, and he will have no end. So he never stops being king over everything. So let's say this rhyme. Everybody? King Uzziah died. God is alive. Okay, now here's our next part. What do you think this missing word is? Look heavenward, throne of the... What do you think it is? You're right. King Uzziah died. God is alive. Look heavenward. Throne of the Lord. Do you think he saw God's throne? Let's see. Yes, a throne. But not just any throne. Look, here is Isaiah 6, verse 1. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up. So, what did Isaiah see? He saw what? What is this? He saw a throne. What did he see on the throne? The Lord. He saw the Lord high and lifted up. Oh my goodness. Look, here's some royal thrones. Here's some thrones that kings have had. Which one do you think is the grandest?
None of them.
None of them? Kings and people who rule sit on thrones. And that's some actual thrones and some kings. But God's throne that Isaiah saw was super special. It was high and lifted up. He sits on his throne and nothing can stop what God has planned. So let's say these rhyme together. Everybody? King Uzziah died.
God is alive. Look heavenward, throne of the Lord.
Okay, so this is from Isaiah chapter 6, right? King Uzziah died, but God is alive. And then what did Isaiah do? He looked heavenward, and what did he see? The throne of the Lord. The next thing Isaiah saw will blow you away. Let's say our third rhyme and try to figure out the word. Temple with robe could fill the... What do you think the missing word is? Okay, let's see. It's globe. Temple with a robe could fill globe. Oh my goodness. The rest of the verse 1 says, he saw the Lord. Where was he? Where did he see the Lord? What was the Lord doing? Sitting on a throne. He was high and lifted up, and it says his robe or his train filled the whole temple. Whoa! This is incredible because years ago, a king's robe showed how important he was. The longer his robe was, the more important the king. So look, here's some royal robes. Which one do you think is the fanciest?
None.
I kind of think this one is.
None of them.
Wow. So kings would wear these robes and they would call them a train. You know, when women get married, they have a big long train. Well, kings had that, and the longer their train was, the more important they were. So let's read how long God's train or robe was. It says, he was sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train or his robe filled the temple. Oh my goodness! His whole robe, the train of it, filled the whole temple. Yes, it filled the whole temple. Imagine if a king were here in this gym with a robe on, and his robe filled the entire building. Can you imagine that? Wow, this verse shows us that God's important in a different way than anyone else. He's ruler in a category all his own. Is there any earthly king that has a throne like him? No. Is there an earthly king that has a robe that fills the whole room?
No. So you can try to make one.
His robe could have filled the whole globe if he wanted it to. He's God, he's great, he's almighty, and he is ruler of all. God can do whatever he wants. He doesn't answer anybody. He's in charge. And here's a big word that means God is in charge and the ruler of everything. Everybody say this word. Sovereign. Can you say that?
Sovereign.
Sovereign. Ooh, we're learning some
Sovereign.
new words. We learned. What does omni mean?
Oh.
All. And we got omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Now we've got a big word, sovereign. What does sovereign mean? God is in charge and he's the ruler of everything. Do you see a smaller word in the word sovereign? Esther. Reign, exactly, reign. Yes, reign. Countries that have kings as their leaders sometimes call them sovereign because they reign or rule over that country. Like we have the Queen of England. And like Monte Carlo has a king. And different countries still have kings and queens, and they're called the sovereign of that country, the ruler of that country. But God is sovereign like no other. He reigns over everyone and everything. But the great news is, God is not just a powerful king, he's a good king. Can you imagine if he was powerful but not good? Wouldn't it be scary to have a powerful God who could do anything but wasn't good? But God is good and he's perfect. Also, it would be great to have a king who is good but not powerful. God is both powerful ruler and he's a good ruler. Okay, now let's say the whole line together. Everybody? King Uzziah died.
God is alive.
Look
Look
heavenly.
heavenly. Throne of the Lord. Temple with robe
could
could
fill
fill
the
the
globe.
globe.
Okay, our next part of the rhyme. What's the missing word? Seraphim fly covered their covered their what? Let's see. Covered their eyes. Very good. Seraphim. You may be saying to yourself, what are seraphim? Well, that's a good question. Seraphim are a type of angel, and they're only mentioned in Isaiah 6, nowhere else in the Bible. Okay, so nobody on earth but Isaiah really knows what they look like. They must be more majestic and incredible than we could ever draw. So let's say the rhyme together from the beginning. King Uzziah died. God is alive. Look heavenward, throne of the Lord. Temple with the robe could fill the globe. Seraphim fly covered their eyes. On to the next thing. So far, Isaiah has been seeing some amazing things, right? He looked and what did he see? He saw the what? Throne of the Lord. He saw the Lord was high and lifted up, and his robe did what?
Fill the
Filled
globe.
the whole temple. Now he's going to hear something amazing. He heard, holy, holy, holy. Holy was heard, super important. Oh, very good. Super important word. That's right. Let's read the verse from Isaiah. Everybody, let's read together.
And one cried unto another, said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts.
How many times did they say holy? So let's read it again. King Uzziah died. God is alive. Look heavenward. Throne of the Lord. Temple with robe. Could fill the globe. Seraphim fly. Covered their eyes. Holy was heard. Super important word. What do you think the word holy means? What do you think holy means?
Great.
Holy means set apart. God is set apart. We make it holy. We set it apart. It's not, God's not like anyone else. He's in the category all by himself. He's pure. He's perfect. Never doing or thinking anything wrong. God is everything good and nothing bad. Isn't that incredible? He's holy, set apart, perfect, never doing anything wrong. There's not one bad thing in God. It's impossible for him to think even one bad thought ever. He's all good. He's perfect. He's pure. He's the source of every good thing. Every good thing that you've ever experienced, boys and girls. How about food? Who likes food? Whoa, every good, tasty food. God is the source of it. Every good night's sleep. Who had a good night's sleep last night? I did. I went to sleep. I didn't wake up this morning. Every good night's sleep, it comes from where?
God.
That's right. And every warm bed. Who has a nice warm bed? You know what I like? I like feather blankets. I don't know if any of you have a feather blanket. Oh, you just feel so nice and warm in there. Every warm bed comes from who?
God.
How about, do you have a person who loves you? You have a person who really loves you? Your mom, maybe your dad. That comes from God. God gave you that wonderful person. And did you know there's only 2 times in the Bible where it says holy, holy, holy? When it says 3 times in a row, wow, that shows us how important it is. And let's say our verse. Everybody?
And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
Isaiah 6:3. That's what the angels were saying. How many times did they say holy? 3
3.
times. And here's the other verse. It's in Revelation. And there's 4 beasts. And they're full of eyes within. And they rest on day and night. And they say, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. That's in Revelation. Here's an interesting thing. The Bible commands us to be holy. Uh-oh. We can never be perfectly holy like God, not even close, but we each sin, and every sin means that we're not holy at all. But in 1 Peter 1:15 it says, But as he which has called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. That means in everything you do in your life, holy, for I'm holy. Uh-oh. Everybody say, I'm supposed to be holy.
I'm supposed to be holy.
Ooh, that's a hard one, isn't it? Not supposed to think bad thoughts, say bad words, act ugly. We need to ask the Lord to help us, don't we? God wants us to live pure lives that reflect Him well. When people look at you, do they see the Lord? Does this look like the Lord? Does that look like the Lord? No. Does that look like the Lord? No. We're supposed to reflect the Lord, aren't we? But we each sin. All right, back to our rhyme. Let's say the whole thing together.
King Uzziah died. God is alive.
Look,
heavenly,
throne
of
of
the
the Lord.
Lord.
Temple
robe
could
fill the glow. Seraphim fly
covered
with their eyes.
Holy
was word.
Super important.
Word.
Okay, we're on our last rhyme now. Tell your story about God's glory. Oh, exactly right. Glory. Well, here's another word, glory. What does glory mean, I wonder? It says, tell your story about God's glory. What do you think glory means?
Happy stuff.
Another interesting word. We've got omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, sovereign, and now we've got holy. Glory. The glory of God shows how great and almighty He is. The whole earth shouts out the greatness and fame of God. That doesn't mean it actually shouts. But that God's amazingness is on display. The heavens declare the glory of God. Look at these beautiful waterfalls. Whoa. Did you know one time when I was a child, I lived on an island, the island of Guam, and I got to ride a caravel. That's a big cow. And I rode this cow, and we were going through the jungle, and then we came out to these beautiful falls. And they're called Telefofo Falls. They were so beautiful. So they show God's glory, don't they? Anybody been to Niagara Falls? Yeah, aren't they majestic and awesome? They show God's glory. How about the sunrise? Anybody ever been up when the sun rises? Yeah. Sunrises and sunsets are beautiful. They show God's glory. How about the birds? Do you like to hear the birds in the morning? I love to hear the birds. There it is. They show us God's glory, His created glory. And this verse says that the whole earth is full of His glory. That means every single thing God created shows God's great glory. Have you ever looked up at the night sky? Do you see all those stars out there? Isn't it amazing? And let's look at Psalm 8 in our Bible. Remember, yesterday we read Psalm 139. Let's look at what Psalm 8 says. It says, Oh Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, who has set thy glory, here's that word glory, above the heavens. When I consider thy heavens, I see your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained. What is man? You ever look up at the sky and go, wow, that is so awesome. ever stood by the ocean? Anybody ever stood by the ocean? It's so huge, right? It's beautiful. Have you ever looked at an animal in the zoo? Whoa, a big lion. Isn't he amazing? Have you ever watched snowflakes? We saw a lot of those this year, didn't we? Or thought about, isn't it amazing how Jesus came to earth to live with us? Aren't you blown away when you think about how incredible God is? The whole earth is filled with His glory. He really is the ruler of the universe. From the very beginning of time, which is recorded in the Old Testament, we find that God is the creator and the ruler. And in the New Testament, when Jesus was on earth, and how we learn how to live, and we find that God is the ruler. Even today, God is ruler. Everybody say, God is ruler.
God is ruler.
He is the same throughout time because He never changes. Okay, now we're back to Isaiah. So Isaiah, he saw what? He saw a vision. And in his vision, what did he see? I see a throne. And who was sitting on the throne? The Lord. And he said he was high and lifted up. And his robe, what did it do? It filled the whole temple. And then after that, Isaiah said, oh, woe is me, for I am undone. I'm a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for mine eyes have seen the King of Glory. So what did he say was wrong with him?
He had unclean lips.
He said, I have unclean lips. That's Isaiah 6:5. And then, look what happened then. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand. Have you ever seen those burning red coals in the fire? Yeah, the angel, the seraphim, had it in his hand, and he took it with the tongs from off the altar, and he laid it on my mouth, and said, Lo, this has touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin is purged. So what did the angel do? It got a coal. It brought it to Isaiah. And what did he do?
Put it on his lips.
Put it on Isaiah's lips and said, okay, now your sin is purged. You're okay now. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Up here's a video clip. Can you get the light, somebody? This is Isaiah. He's going to the temple. What's he saying? Oh, what is that?
Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of His glory.
Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts.
Behold, His has touched your lips. Your iniquity is taken away, and your sin purged. Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?
Here I am. Send me.
He saw God's throne. He said, who should I send? And what did Isaiah say? What? You're my Lord. Send me. How many of you would like to say that? You're my Lord. Send me. Touch me. And help me. Right? You're my Lord. Send me. Here's our verse. Let's say it together.
And one cried unto another and said, Holy,
Holy,
holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
Wow. That was pretty amazing. Can you imagine being Isaiah? You're just standing, you're in the temple, you walk in the temple, and all of a sudden, you saw the throne of the Lord. He was sitting on it, and his whole robe did what?
Filled the whole temple.
Filled the whole temple. And then he said, woe is me. You know, when you see God's holiness, you realize how sinful you are. And that's what he said. And what came with the coal? Who came with the coal and touched his mouth? The seraphim did. And touched him. And then he said, who will go for me? And Isaiah said what?
Send me.
Hear my Lord, send me. Someday the Lord's going to say that to you. Will you go for me? Will you go for me?
Yeah.
Who can I send? Who can I send? I need somebody. Who can I send? Oh Lord, I'm too busy. I can't go. I'm too weak. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. Are we going to believe the Lord to touch us and give us the grace and the strength and the anointing to do what he wants us to do, right? Who will go? Hear my Lord, send me, right? I hope that will be your answer when the Lord comes to you and says, will you go for me? Will you go for me? Will you go for me? Will you say, here am I, Lord, send me? You know what? I have done so many things that I could never do because God helped me. And he said, will you go? I say, yes, Lord. But I'm so weak, I don't know how to do it. It's okay, you go and I'll help you, right? So whenever the Lord says to you, will you go for me? I hope you'll be like Isaiah and say, here I am, Lord. Send me. Don't worry. If he's got a job for you to do, he's going to help you. He'll give you everything you need so you can do it. Okay, we ready for Preacher Feature?
Yeah.
Who was our animal today?
Mark the shark.
Mark the shark. Okay.
It's Creature Feature time! Our next animal pal is Clark, the great white shark. Great white sharks are some of the most impressive animals in the ocean. They're truly an amazing creation of God's. Think about a school bus for a second. The great white shark can grow up to 20 feet long. That's over half the length of a school bus. The great white shark is a fast swimmer. At its greatest speeds, it can swim up to 35 miles per hour, about the speed of a car on a city road. Take a big sniff of our fresh VBS air. You may think you have a good sense of smell, but the great white shark has an even better nose than you. They can smell a colony of seals up to 2 miles away. That's like being able to smell the jack-in-the-box down the road from you. Make a big toothy grin. Our teeth are fairly small, not even ½ inch long. In comparison, the great white shark's teeth are huge. They can be up to 3 inches long. And listen to how cool this is. If a shark's tooth becomes old and dull, a new tooth moves in to replace the old tooth within 1 day. God gave the great white shark a continual mouthful of sharp teeth so it would always be able to easily catch and eat its food. God thought of everything. Now think of the heaviest thing you've ever lifted. Well, you may be strong, but you definitely couldn't lift a great white shark. The great white shark can weigh up to 7,000 pounds. That's about as heavy as a limo. The great white shark is a gigantic animal. So how is it able to float? Doesn't it seem like it should just sink to the bottom of the ocean?
That has
Well, God put something inside the shark called a liver, which has oil inside it. Humans don't have this kind of liver, but sharks do it. When the oil hits water, it floats instead of sinks, so the shark's oily liver helps it stay afloat. The great white shark is known as the king of the sea because of its powerful and impressive body. Even though Clark is pretty awesome, he reminds us that God is king, not just of the sea, but of the entire universe. God, the king of the universe, made the king of the sea after all. Our God is ruler of all.
Wow, who's ruler of all?
God.
God is ruler of all. Okay, so let's say our verse together. And
One cried, another said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
Isaiah 6:3. That is amazing. Who saw the Lord?
Isaiah.
Isaiah saw the Lord, and he saw a special angel that only Isaiah has seen. What was the name of that angel? Seraphim. Very good, yeah. Wow, and his train did what?
Filled the whole temple.
Wow, that is really amazing. Okay, you ready for our dramas? Yeah, we didn't get to see one yesterday afternoon. So maybe we can see two now. We'll see session 2 and session 3. Are you ready? Ready? Okay, it's time for the lights to go out again.
Thank you, God, for such a beautiful day. Good morning. Oh, is your brother coming too?
Oh, yes, he should be here in a moment. This is such a beautiful place. And I love the pirate game.
Yes, people do seem to enjoy it.
Your costume is fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, what a unique necklace.
This is my own necklace.
Oh, necklace?
Yes, I wear it to remind me how great God is. The 3 O's here stand for the 3 big O words. Omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent.
Wow, those are big words.
Yes, I know, I love them.
Well, what do they mean?
Well, take the first one, omnipotent. Omni means all, and potent means power. So when you put it together, you get all power. In other words, there's nothing that God cannot do. Whether it's healing someone or calming a storm with just one word or making something out of nothing, he can do it, no problem.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, after all, he's God, right?
Oh, yes, exactly. And the next one is omniscient, which means all-knowing. In other words, God knows absolutely everything, which means he's never had to think about anything. He's never had to plot his course of action. Nothing has ever occurred to him. He knows every hair that's on your head. He knows every grain of sand on earth, every star in the universe, every thought that's ever been thought, and every word that's ever been spoken. He knows all of it.
Whoa, that blows my mind.
I know, mine too. And the last one is omnipresent, which means...
Oh, wait, don't tell me, let me guess. It means all present?
That's right. Which means God is everywhere at the exact same time. From the bottom of the ocean to the farthest point in outer space. There's nowhere that you and I can go that God isn't already there. Which means that we can never hide from God, but it also means that we're never truly alone.
That's pretty neat to think about.
So you see, just having this reminder that God is with me, that he knows everything about me, and that he can do absolutely anything is really quite comforting.
You wouldn't happen to have any of those old necklaces in the gift shop, would you?
No, sorry, but here, take this one.
No, I couldn't take yours.
Don't be silly, I can make a new one. Please take it.
All right, thank you. Very kind of you.
It's my pleasure. Enjoy.
Okay, little guy. You'll be okay. We're almost home.
Would you excuse me for a moment, please? Sure. Dylan, what are you doing? It is 10 o'clock in the morning. Why aren't you working?
I'm sorry. I was taking a walk on the beach, and then I lost track of time. But then I found this little lizard. Oh no!
What's wrong?
He's gone! Have you seen him? Where did he go? It was just in my head. I don't understand. He was under you. Oh, I found him.
And I suppose you'd like to keep him, wouldn't you?
May I, please?
Just don't ever let me see it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now get to work, please.
Okay.
Oh, sorry I'm late. Overslept.
That's no problem. I trust the accommodations were satisfactory.
Oh, yes. Everything is wonderful.
Good. Now, I'm guessing you two are probably wondering why you're here.
No.
No, not really. We won a vacation, right?
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
You know, it might be best if we sit down. You two are about to hear some things you've never heard before.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she's making me nervous. What do you think this is about?
Ah, yes, Dylan, thank you.
Ooh, fresh squeezed lemonade?
Yeah, right. It's just the cheap stuff from the can. Mostly sugar.
Thank you so much for that, Dylan. I wanted to get some ice for the lemonade. Okay, coming right up. He's a delightful boy. Just started this week. So...
Don't worry! Everything's fine!
Anyways, what were we talking about?
You were about to tell us why we're here.
Ah, yes, you see, you two didn't win this vacation.
I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true.
Oh, no, you don't understand. You didn't win it because it was a gift.
What?
From whom? Who would want to give us a vacation?
She's probably going to say that some rich uncle we've never heard of before died and left us an inheritance.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Actually, that's exactly what happened.
Wait, you are kidding, right?
No, she's not kidding.
What? So this is Mr. Tobias Henson. He's an attorney with Finley & Associates. He arrived shortly after you did.
I don't understand.
Here you are.
Dylan, why aren't you using ice tongs?
Oh, because I couldn't find them. But don't worry, my hands are clean.
I'm so sorry. Would you excuse me for just one moment? I suddenly have some employee training to do.
Well, anyway, I represent your uncle's estate.
But that's impossible. We've never had an uncle, have we, sis?
Of course not. There must be some mistake.
Well, I can assure you there's no mistake. Your father had a brother, and his name was Joe Richardson. Says so right here.
This is crazy.
Well, it might be crazy, but it's also true.
Then why haven't we heard of him before?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
This is so mysterious.
So, what do you know about it?
Well, I do know he was a treasure hunter.
Treasure hunter? You mean like Indiana Jones?
Yeah, and he was one of the best. Rugged, fearless, never gave up. Why, he even wrestled a lion once to retrieve a clue he needed.
Wow.
It sounds like you knew him.
Oh, well, not really. Just read some things about him, that's all.
So why'd he come to Mystery Island?
Yeah.
That's because Mystery Island has a lot of pirate history, which means treasure. In fact, there's an old legend that says the largest pirate treasure is buried somewhere on this island.
Really? That's so cool!
It's the ultimate treasure. The one that all treasure hunters dream of finding. The one even Blackbeard himself searched for and couldn't find. Captain Scurvy Legs Gold.
Captain Scurvy Legs Gold. Why, that sounds like something right out of an adventure book.
Yep, and your uncle wanted to find it if it was the last thing he did.
So did he?
We don't know, but he did find something. There's no doubt about that.
Have you discussed the inheritance yet?
We were just getting to that.
Wow, inheritance? Don't you just love the sound of that?
I can't believe this is happening to us.
So, when it comes to an inheritance, the will usually states what's to be given and how it's to be given. And your uncle's will is no exception.
Except
what?
Except that there's a twist. Your uncle, being a treasure hunter, wanted your inheritance to include a treasure hunt.
You're joking.
No, he's quite serious.
That's okay. Sounds fun to me.
Of course it does.
So here's how it works. There are 3 legs to the hunt. At the beginning of each leg, you'll be given a treasure map with clues and directions to find a buried artifact somewhere on the island. And then once you find that artifact, you'll bring it back here, and then we'll give you another map for the next leg. Make sense?
But what happens if we don't find the artifact?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess you don't get an inheritance.
Oh.
Well, then we have to find it.
So, are you ready to start then?
Absolutely. Let's get this show on the road.
Right. Now, I've got the first briefcase here. So I will input my combination, and Mr. Henson will input his.
Cool. It's just like a spy movie.
Yes. And inside should be the first treasure map.
It's a treasure map, all right. Oh, sorry.
Now, I'm afraid there is one stipulation.
What's that?
We're not permitted to help you.
What? So we're on our own?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Oh, thanks, Uncle Joe, for making it easy.
That's okay, sis. We can do this. I know we can. We just have to figure out how to read this map.
You're not giving me very much confidence.
Well, that's okay. We'll figure it out as we go. Come on.
Wait for me!
Let's see the next one. That's the one we didn't have yesterday. Honestly. Don't go to sleep, you might fall off your chair. Okay. Okay, that's wrong. That's not the drama, that's the that's the children's hunger fund. You need drama session, the drama video session 3. So you understand what's happening? These 2 brothers and sisters, they came and they found out they have an inheritance, but they've got to take the treasure map and they have to find the first clue. And when they find the first clue, they'll give them another map to find the second clue.
Hey, it's me. Oh, no one's around. Coast is clear. Oh, this is so easy. They fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Oh, I know. Yeah, I kind of like this. You know, dressing up business, carrying a briefcase. You know, makes me think I should have been a lawyer for real. I know, I like it. Wait, someone's coming. I don't know, Mom. Mom, you know I don't like coming for the holidays and Christmas. Mom, I don't like traveling. Mom, Plus, Mom, I've got a big case I'm working on. A big case, Mom. It's really important with big things, Mom. Hold on. What do you want?
Oh, you see, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
What?
So, what would you like? We've got giant pretzels, pizza, nachos.
No, it's fine, kid. I'm good. I'm really good. Thanks.
Really? Because I'd really like to serve you.
It's okay. It's fine. No thanks. Why are you still standing there?
Because Miss Mabry says I need to get my feet wet.
What?
I need to get my feet wet. You see, I've never done this job before, or any job before. And so this week is going to be a great week for me to get some good experience. But next week there's going to be so many more.
Okay, fine. Give me, water, with lemon.
Okay, so that's one. Water with lemon, you said, right?
Yes, lemon.
Okay. No, my pencil lead broke. Now what am I gonna do?
I don't know. How about you, memorize the order?
Oh, you're right, I can't do that. Okay, so what is it you wanted again?
Water with lemon.
Okay, one water with lemon, coming right up.
Are you still there? You still there? No, it's just some kid trying to be a waiter. Okay, no, they're on the trail now. So I should have my hot little hands on something very valuable pretty soon. Oh, one way or another, I'm gonna get that treasure.
Sir? Mr. Henson? Where'd you go? Man, it sure isn't easy being a waiter, is it? Ice water with lemon. Not bad. Maybe could use a little sugar, but it's actually quite refreshing. Oh, sour. Hi, Miss Mabry.
Believe you have work to do, young man.
Oh, you see, I was working. I tried to take Mr. Henson's order. I even did take it. But then he just disappeared.
Come here, please.
What's wrong?
Your tag is sticking up. Come here. Turn around.
Oh, good. I thought I was in trouble.
You are a mess. What is this on your elbow?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, guess I am in trouble now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Really, I didn't. Now look what I've done. Way to go, Dylan. Oh no, not the detective. I've got to get out of here.
So you think you can drive better than I? Is that what you are saying?
Exactly, detective.
And that is where you are wrong, for you forget the simple fact that I am a trained officer of the law. Besides, what is one little scratch and bend when you consider the important work that we are doing? Oh, this is so soft, lipsy. What the heck?
Hello, Detective Blue.
It is pronounced not blue.
I'm sorry, I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
You have, madame.
So it's Detective No Clue.
Yes, that is what I said.
Right. Yes, well, I will try to remember that then. So, what brings brings you to Buccaneer Bay this time?
Official police business. Stanley?
Oh, right. The Mystery Island Police Department, in an effort to improve its services, is conducting a survey to see how its citizens feel about the effectiveness of the department. Therefore, your participation is greatly appreciated.
It's very interesting. So who came up with these questions then?
Oh, I did. It was me.
Yes, I thought so. So you'd like me to answer these, huh?
Yes, please. So the first question is, true or false? On a scale of 1 to 10, how effective is the Mystery Island Police Department?
I'm sorry, you'd like me to answer true or false to that?
That's correct.
Okay, I would say false.
Is that your final answer?
Sure, Stanley, why not?
Okay. Next question. Yes or no? When you have a problem, would you rather call the Mystery Island Police Department? Or what?
Oh yes, exactly. Isn't the question missing something?
I don't believe so.
Okay, never mind. I'll just say no to that one.
Okay. Next question.
No, wait, let me guess. Do you walk to school or take your lunch?
Matsu? Yeah. What? No. Oh, okay. We'll be right there. He has up to his old tricks again.
What is it?
There has been a robbery at the Pearl Museum. Captain Oak's hook is missing.
Captain Hook's hook? Oh no.
Yes, that is what I said. No doubt the work of Mr. Junior Patel, International Antiquities Thief, otherwise known as the Snake.
Wait, how do you know who it was?
It is my business to know. But don't worry, we will find him and bring him to justice, rest assured of that. Well, it is a shame we cannot complete the survey, but we must leave immediately. Come, Stanley.
Detective.
Yes, what is it?
I do believe that your car is still that way.
Of course. No news that. I was just seeing if you knew that. Let's go.
Why were the police here?
Just doing some ridiculous survey, but then they had to rush off because the pirate museum was just robbed.
Really? What happened? Did they catch the thief?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I hope they catch him soon.
Yes, there's little chance of that while Detective No Clue was in charge. I do hate that there's a criminal element on the island, though. Oh, good, the Richardsons are back. So, how did it go?
Better than expected.
That's for sure.
We got lost a few times and almost gave up.
Because of me. I'm just not that great with maps.
Yeah, but we started to get into a groove and we hit the checkpoints, so that was good. Good.
But it was tough though, wasn't it?
Yes. Hot.
So you found the artifact?
Oh, yeah.
Sure did. Would you like to see it?
Oh, would I mean, of course. Sure.
Well, it's certainly not Captain Scurvyleg's gold, but at least it's one step closer to treasure, right?
Wow.
I know, it's gotta be worth something, don't you think?
Well, let's see, according to Uncle Joe, it is over 1,000 years old and belonged to King Musulamu of Naroon.
It's Masulamu.
Oh, you've heard of him?
Oh, I might.
Oh, I'm impressed.
So, what else does it say about King Mu? Can I call him that?
Sure, if you want to.
Well, let's see. He became king when he was 12 years old.
12 years old?
Yes. Looks like he was a great king at first, but as his kingdom grew and he became more powerful, he changed and became terrible and ruthless. How sad is that?
So he began well, but didn't end well. Just like so many others.
Yes. Now there's only one king who will always be good, who will always be just, who's never going to change. That's God himself, the king of the universe.
Well, if that's true, if God really is king of the universe, then why does he allow evil kings like King Moo?
Because of sin, that's why. See, in the beginning, everything was perfect, and God set some rules for us. But Adam and Eve, the first parents, disobeyed those rules, and that resulted in a curse on everything.
So that's why there's evil in the world? Because of a curse?
That's right.
But still, why did God allow it to work out like that? I mean, couldn't he have done things differently?
No, because God does not make mistakes. This is not plan B. See, the Bible says that God is holy, and I mean absolutely holy, which means his character is perfect, and his ways are infinitely higher than our own. So you and I just have to trust him. But the problem is, our view of God is much too small. He is so much bigger and better than we could ever possibly even imagine.
How about I hold on to this while you start the next leg?
Start the next leg? You can't be serious. Can it wait until tomorrow?
We're pretty tuckered out.
Yes, of course. You two enjoy the evening. You've earned it. Thank you.
All right. But we'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m.
7? Can we make it 8?
I got a feeling that body isn't good. No, it doesn't seem like it's good, does it? Yes. Yeah. A little bit. So, we learned today that God is a ruler, right? And Isaiah saw him high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Okay? So, we're going to say a prayer, and then we're going to have games. I don't know if we have time right now, or do we have time? Do we want to do his treasure hunt right now? Huh? Okay, let's do it now. Almost do it now. Okay. Come on, Samuel. Samuel has a treasure hunt for you all.
All right, guys. You guys say what's today, before we get started, we're going to have everyone find a partner, okay? Just find one partner. Find a partner, okay? Stand next to them. Someone who came up with Ellie. Everyone got a partner? Okay. You're gonna play rock, paper, scissors with that person, okay? Whoever wins, all you do is you sit down. You win, you come up here, okay? Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Just once. You win, you come up here. You win, you come up here. Alright. Alright. So all the winners are here, right? Okay. Okay. Now you guys are going to take each other. Find someone else in this group.
Thank you for joining us. They're going to have a treasure hunt now, and then we're going to have games and crafts and science. And we'll be back later.